This is the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast, and I'm your host, Trudy Simmons from the Daisy Chain Group, providing platforms and opportunities for businesswomen to be seen and heard. This platform is for the women entrepreneurs that want to hear the real stories of what it takes to be yourself and run a business with all the different hats that you might have to wear. Come and join the Shine On You Crazy Daisy membership, offering online networking, co-working, collaboration, and monthly masterclasses for you to grow your knowledge. Go to thedaisychaingroup.com for more information. These are the platforms to hear and share the stories of the tenacious, the rebellious, and the resilient women that are working towards the future that they build for themselves and their families. Hello and welcome to the Shine On You Crazy Daisy podcast. And today I am thrilled and excited to introduce you to Patricia Lohan from Powerhouse Feng Shui. Patricia, thank you so much for being involved in Shine On You Crazy Daisy Volume 4. Please tell us about your business.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. My business helps women to move to the next level in their lives and their businesses using a untapped resource, their home, to help them become more aligned, balanced, and happier and more abundant through balancing their home first. Everything else starts to flow then.
Sounds amazing. We all want it. You talk about reconciling the spiritual and the financial from a young age, or knowing that these were two areas that mattered to you. But how did that feel?
So one of the things that really flows and what came to me on the journey was around this idea of feeling abundant, being told to like feel abundant, feel wealthy, have that mindset. But then when I dove deeper into this idea of feeling more abundant, more wealthy, I realized that there were blocks, not just blocks from like our family histories and what we grew up with, but also that when we purchase or find the place that we're living in, it's a match energetically. So even when you start to kind of release and clear and recognize and see these limiting beliefs and these stories that we've had growing up, our homes can actually be contributing to the financial, like the money not flowing in the way that you would expect it to as a result of doing the personal development. So essentially what my work has ended up being and how it felt was, oh, wow, when we're in flow and we're feeling good and we're in an environment that supports us, everything starts to flow. Everything starts to flow, not just money, abundance, but all of the good things that we may not have been experiencing starts to flow. And it's really around, shifting things up for us.
Right.
It felt magical.
When you're talking about shifting, one of the things that you could see in yourself was you had this pattern of fear and being broke.
Mm-hmm.
How did you make the decision to break that cycle, and what did you do about it?
So the very first thing that really stepped me out of it and put me into a real space of trust was quitting my job and moving to India. So when I quit everything, I actually changed environment massively and stepped into the unknown, into a place that I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know what one day to the next was going to be. I was training as a yoga teacher. I don't really know even what I lived on. Like if I go back and I'm like, I wasn't really earning money, but I was still like being provided for all the time. And there was this inherent trust that there was always more money. There was always the thing would just happen and show up. So that was something that really kind of surprised me a lot. And then when I moved back to Ireland and set up my business in a new city, I was in a place of real trust, like real surrender trust. And things just showed up unexpectedly without too much effort. So I'm shifted, and this is something I've been really doing a lot more real and notice. Like I've just been sitting back and watching a lot of it, because once I kind of, interestingly, when I stepped back into started this particular business, it was with the a more trusting vibration, but still not as trusting as I had been when I kind of started in the holistic business that I had. So I'm in this dance now, kind of more surrendering to the trust and seeing the magic and miracles happen when we're in a different space. So we're not necessarily in the energetic place of fear, but we move into the heart, we move into service, selflessness, and kind of doing this for a bigger reason than just to, the roof over your head.
That must be fascinating to you as well, because your
Totally.
journey of going from absolute belief and trust to moving to new places to having to kind of start it again, you're living what you're teaching
all the time. And it's like what fascinates me is that, like, how we can sometimes just be brought right back to the old stories and in it and watching and being like, oh, who is that person? This only happened the other day with me and Ken. We were having something came up that financially, that I definitely was acting and speaking from a place of fear as opposed to a place to, oh yeah, that's okay. Like, and it wasn't that big an amount of money, to be honest, that like in the grander scale of our earnings, but it was just, it kind of hit off something in me that I went, oh, okay, now I'm looking at this. And when it's a journey, watching and evolving and growing.
What was also really interesting in your chapter was talking about your husband, Ken. And I know that with women in business, when we are single, that we feel like there's no room for a partner, a love interest, because we work so danged hard. So how did you approach that, and did it work? It did work.
But it did work. And I was at the interestingly enough, like I was at the very, like my business, I was only in Dublin. I was in a year. So my business was a year old. And at that stage, you're kind of like gung-ho doing it in it. But I moved into a new apartment and I knew I was ready to call in this right person in my life. And, interestingly enough, exactly, you said, we just think we're too busy. We don't have the time. And I filled up my life with other activities. My life was so busy, filled up with either work or social life or, I was in a band. And when I looked at kind of from a feng shui philosophy and perspective, we're always talking about like making space, setting up the environment correctly, making sure it's energetically aligned. And it's a mirror of you. It's your home, and you have to be aligned, for the thing to happen. So it's okay just having your house all set up, but then if your diary is jam packed with activities, it's full of clutter, it's overwhelming. And that's what was that was what it was me. I taught yoga 2 evenings a week. I was at band practice. I was out with my friends every Thursday. At the weekends, I was at workshops. And when I realized that, I was like, hang on, like my bedroom is ready, my house is ready. The only time I can fit a date in is on a Tuesday at lunchtime. That's not space for a relationship. There's no space. So it actually took me stepping back and saying, right, well, something has to go. Like something has to go. I have to release something to welcome in this relationship. And I actually left the band. Basically, I quit the band. It was like this little epiphany. I was like, even though I loved it, I was like, no, I need to have more space. And I created this gap. Once a week, I had a date night that was just free. It wasn't like even I went out on dates. It was more like, this is space, and created that space for it. And I did the feng shui as well.
I just recently got into a new relationship, but one of the reasons that I did that is because I made space. I literally cleared out a drawer. I cleared out part of my wardrobe. I realized that I needed to stop work at 5 o'clock to create the space after that for, as you're saying, that date night thing. And I called him in. And it's fascinating when you can look at these things and how they work. It was immediate.
Yeah. And oftentimes, like, the thing is, our houses are basically created from our unconscious. So if your closet is full, your wardrobes are full, your drawers are full, everything's jammed, it's just a total mirror of your life. Like everything there's no space, and the artwork, the setup, how you position yourself, all of that. And just even going to like the fact that you're a match to the house that you have, and that's where we change. That's how I help people, is change the energetics of their home, so that then changes them, and it's them to turn up in a different way.
I love energetics. If there was one lesson that you've learned that you would want every entrepreneur to know, what would it be?
You know, we're all just figuring it out. So trust, like you can watch and see what everyone else is doing, but then it has to just feel good in your heart. And this is something that, you know, I've learned very much the hard way. But when you really just drop into like, does this feel good? And that's like our constant question in our business now. It's like, does this feel good? If it feels good, then go for it. Even if nobody else is doing it, even if it sounds like the craziest thing ever, just do the thing that feels good, because other people are going to feel that and want to, whatever it is, will want to interact with you.
Yeah. Absolutely. So important. I hope everybody hears that. What's your favorite piece of business software?
So I have two, and they're a bit different. First of all, I don't like typing. So the article for the book is always, this is my hardest thing. I love Voxer, which is a voice app. So basically I run our entire team and business via Voxer to everybody. And then Bomb, which is an app which you do videos that I put on my emails, and they're really cute little videos that you can just do a video for someone. So if someone sends an email, I'll often just reply with a little video back to them.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard of that. Okay.
Super fun.
Oh, I love hearing all about these pieces of software. You just never know who's going to go, oh, I need that immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is amazing. Patricia, thank you so much for sharing your story and for being involved in the book and in the podcast.
You're very welcome. I'm delighted to have had this chance.
Thank you for watching. If you like what you saw, please like the video and click the subscribe button for this channel for more inspiration. If you're a businesswoman looking for that community that will support you and lift you up, come and join the Shine On You Crazy Daisy membership, offering online networking, co-working, collaboration and monthly masterclasses to grow your knowledge. Go to thedaisychaingroup.com for more information. And for even more inspiration, please go to the link under the video and get your copy of the Shine On You Crazy Daisy series of books with inspirational and motivating stories from businesswomen around the world.